the Canadian government has been introducing various regulations since February to reduce the number of temporary residents. Following the tightening of student visa regulations, measures to limit the number of foreign workers were implemented starting from September 26th, with restrictions on Lmia. On August 26th, the Department of Labor announced that it would strengthen the low-wage Lmia stream, stating that it would implement the changes a month later. A month later, on September 26th, the new regulations were implemented, and I was surprised to see the content. I've been accustomed to frequent changes in Canadian immigration regulations over nearly 20 years. So I don't usually blink at most news, but this time I was a bit shocked. Initially, it was announced that only the low-wage stream would be strengthened, and I thought that was fortunate. However, the actual implementation included low-wage Lmias for permanent residency applications, where a work permit is also being applied for at the same time. Since most Lmia applications are for low-wage permanent residency Lmias, this regulation makes it very difficult to apply for low-wage Lmia. In urban areas with unemployment rates above 6%, it's now impossible to apply for a low-wage Lmia. In other areas, the foreign worker employment ratio has been reduced from 20% to 10%. Many businesses will now have difficulty securing labor, particularly in industries with a high ratio of foreign workers. Or businesses in remote areas, labor shortages will likely be severe. The government said they would implement additional measures after a 90-day trial period. But many businesses are already expressing dissatisfaction. There is continued criticism about the unrealistic nature of the regulations. However, it seems that it will be challenging to find employers willing to support low-wage Lmias for the time being. The situation might change after 90 days, but this mood could continue until after the election next year. Since the Lmia is an evaluation of labor market impact, it can change according to the Canadian economy at any time, even without changing the regulations. If the unemployment rate rises, the evaluation becomes much stricter. With so much negative news coming out daily, it might feel like opportunities in Canada are ending. It's true that work visas and student visas have become more challenging to obtain, and the government's determination to reduce temporary visa holders is evident. However, the Canadian government's stance of welcoming new permanent residents has not changed. For those who already have a work visa, the chances of applying for permanent residency in the future might be even better. Most permanent residency programs require Canadian work experience and a work visa. So if temporary visa holders are limited, the number of future permanent residency applicants will decrease. This will lower the points required for the points-based programs and shorten the wait times for first-come, first-served programs. There's a saying that half of getting Canadian permanent residency is luck, and it's not entirely untrue. If you time it right, it can be very easy. But if not, it becomes much harder to obtain permanent residency for those with a lot of time left on their work visas. This situation might actually work in their favor for the permanent residency process. However, for those with work visas expiring soon and who have not prepared for renewal, these regulations could be a serious problem. During such unpredictable times, it's essential to plan ahead and prepare for visa extensions. If you've come to Canada on a tourist visa to find a job at this time, you will likely face difficulties. However, as the saying goes, crisis is an opportunity. Now, when many are giving up, could be your special chance. Like with stocks, people say it's better to buy when things are tough rather than when everyone else is buying. To apply for permanent residency, you first need to find an employer, process your work visa, and gain Canadian work experience. This takes a lot of time. instead of rushing. It's better to plan thoroughly and be well prepared during times like these. High-wage Lmia is unaffected by these regulation changes. Even for low-wage jobs, there are still opportunities in smaller cities. At this point, more attention is drawn to programs where you can apply directly for permanent residency, since temporary visas are being limited. But the government still wants to attract permanent residents. Opportunities to apply for permanent residency directly from abroad may increase. Many people are upset by the tightened Lmia regulations, but I hope to bring good news after the 90-day period.